Are you looking for the best 3D printer for miniatures and amp figurines? In this video, we will look at some of the 6 best 3D printer on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Phrozen Sonic Mini 8K. The insane level of detail that the Sonic Mini is able to achieve is possible due to the innovative 8K resolution LCD screen on the printer. It's really difficult to describe just how detailed 8K resolution is, but you can achieve prints more detailed than a grain of sand. The 0.022 mm dimensional accuracy of the printer is also noticeably improved than the Sonic Mini 8K's predecessors. However, the 8K screen is hardly the only feature on the Sonic Mini 8K. Despite being able to achieve an uncanny level of detail, the printer also offers a large build volume of approximately 165 by 72 by 180 mm. Now, if you're using the Sonic Mini 8K to print miniatures, you won't need this much space. But you will always have it available if you want to print larger models or print multiple detailed miniatures at once. The printer is also super easy to use, something you don't usually expect on a printer that prints super detailed. Moreover, the graphical user interface on the Sonic Mini's touchscreen's display is super user-friendly and easy to navigate. I didn't even need to look at the tutorial video to start my first print or clean the VAT. And, one of the best parts of it all, the Sonic Mini 8K isn't even that expensive. When I saw my first 8K resolution print, I immediately was like, there's no way this thing costs under $1,000. But it does. However, it is worth pointing out that you'll need to buy special 8K rated resin to print true 8K resolution miniatures. Personally, though, I think it's a worthy expense in the name of detail. At number 2. Elegoo Mars 3. When thinking of budget resin printers, it's impossible to not think of Elegoo, a leading manufacturer of low-cost resin 3D printers. The original Elegoo Mars was what really started it for Elegoo, but I think the Elegoo Mars 3 is a much better choice overall for printing miniatures. While it's a little more expensive than the original Mars, it features a more detailed 4K screen. This is perfect for miniatures measuring 28 mm or more. Of course, a 4K screen doesn't yield nearly as much detail as an 8K screen. But, unless you're super hardcore into printing miniatures, a 4K screen will still put out impressive detail on models and have any passerby saying, "Whoa, you 3D printed that?" In other areas, the printer is pretty mediocre, with only one Z-axis motor and a plastic frame. Additionally, while the printer has a touchscreen interface, it's a little small and, if you have chubby soft fingers like me, clicking a button can be a little annoying. But, I'd say these cutbacks are okay because they were done to keep the price low. On this note, the Mars 3 costs $400. And any 4K resolution printer $400 is a steal by any measure, which is why I firmly believe the Mars 3 is the best value printer suited for miniatures. Despite being super low cost, most Elegoo Mars 3s come with a 1-year license to Chi2Box Pro, the slicer software for SLA printers. Now this is by no means a deal maker, but it definitely makes the Mars 3 stand out from other budget 4K resin printers. At number 3. Phrozen Sonic Mini 4K. The Sonic Mini 4K, the predecessor to the Sonic Mini 8K that we reviewed first. The printer, as indicated by its name, has a 4K screen, which produces less detail than an 8K screen. However, the difference between 4K and 8K resolution isn't really all that noticeable unless you're printing sub-20 mm models and have a magnifying glass on hand. Additionally, you'll save a few $100 with the Sonic Mini 4K than if you bought the Sonic Mini 8K. Compared to other affordable resin 3D printers like the Anycubic Photon series and Elegoo Mars series, we found the printing quality superior in the Mini 4K. The XY layer resolution of the Mini 4K is 35 microns versus the 50 microns of those two printers. The Sonic Mini 4K also prints faster than most other 4K screen machines. Moreover, this machine is capable of consistently printing one layer every 2 seconds, which is half a second faster than machines like the Mars 3. While this doesn't sound like a big difference, note that thousands of layers can be in a single model, so the time adds up quickly. It's also easy to use. Just plug in, level, and start printing. The default settings in Qi 2Box work without any adjustments, although you'll have to tweak it for certain designs. In terms of printer noise, the Sonic Mini 4K is a bit noisier than the original, the Sonic Mini. The noise mainly comes from Mini's Z-axis stepper motor during the changing of layers, but it can be quieter if you choose to lower the print speed. Overall, the Phrozen Sonic Mini 4K is a great option for those who want detailed miniatures but would rather save a few $100 than get every 0.000001 millimeters of detail possible. It's also an excellent resin printer for beginners who want to print miniatures, as it's a quick setup and easy to use. At number 4. Elegoo Mars 2 Pro. The Elegoo Mars 3 already, but the Mars 2 Pro is another Mars series printer worth mentioning. The printer doesn't have nearly as much detail capabilities as the other machines on this list, with only a 2K resolution LCD screen. However, it's easily the least expensive printer, costing $300. So just how bad is a 2K screen on a resin printer? Is it even suitable for resin prints? Although differences in screen resolution on resin printers are a heavily marketed point, it's not actually that different. While you'll notice the difference between a print with 2K resolution and one with 4K or 8K resolution, it's not that bad. Moreover, I'm still confident you and anyone else who sees a 2K resolution miniature print will be impressed that it was 3D printed. But I didn't just include the Mars 2 Pro on my list if it was just cheap, as there are plenty of low-quality sub-$300 printers out there. The reason the Mars 2 Pro made it here is its speed, which is around 3 times faster than other resin printers on the market. At between 1 and 2 seconds per layer, you'll be able to pump out a typical miniature print in under 3 hours, no question. Additionally, the Mars 2 Pro is super reliable. If you thought the Elegoo Mars 3 was a thoroughbred, then you can consider the Mars 2 Pro a workhorse. It's just that reliable. You can put it to its paces running at 12 to 16 hours a day and it'll consistently churn out prints day after day. So, if you're thinking of selling your prints on Etsy or other marketplaces, spend a thought or two on purchasing the Mars 2 Pro. The build volume on the Mars 2 Pro measures 130 by 82 by 160 millimeters, which is pretty average for a resin printer of this cost. But, it's more than enough to print at least 4 or 5 miniatures. This 3D printer is a resin fanboy favorite and is ideal for anyone looking to print miniatures often and fast. At number 5. Anycubic Photon Mono 4K. The Anycubic Photon Mono 4K was one of the first and one of the best 4K resolution resin printers to hit the market. The printer has since been surpassed in print quality by 8K resolution printers, but it's still a worthy machine for printing miniatures. Developed by Anycubic, a popular manufacturer of FDM and resin 3D printers, the Photon Mono 4K features a 4K resolution screen. The screen can produce prints with an accuracy as low as 35 microns, 0.035 millimeters, which is perfect for 28 to 30 millimeters miniatures. It's just as good as a model from Hero Forge, except it's right in your home and you don't have wait ages for the figures to ship or risk damage. The Mono 4K improves upon the previous models, Photon and Photon S, with a slightly larger build volume and a 29% larger LCD screen, 6.23 to be exact. The new screen means 2.5 times faster print speeds than its predecessors. It only takes 2.5 hours to print a 120mm model where before it would take 6 hours. Additionally, with the extra space on the Mono 4K, you can easily print up to 6 25mm miniatures in one go. But, if you really want to start mass-producing miniatures, I'd suggest using a resin printer with a larger build volume, like the Photon Mono X, as you can fit a lot more miniature models in its 192 by 120 by 245mm print space. The Photon Mono 4K comes ready to print right out of the box, with no assembly required. Anycubic obviously had ease of use in mind when they put together this printer, and the touchscreen user interface is easy to navigate too. But my favorite part about the printer is its value. Costing under $200, the Photon Mono 4K is an insane bang for your buck. It might not be the absolute best in terms of quality or frame, but it performs better than printers twice its price. I'd recommend the Mono 4K to anyone looking for the most value for their dollar. Its 4K screen will give you amazing detail on prints, and its build volume is large enough where you're not restricted to just printing miniatures. At number 6. Creality Ender 3S1. All of the printers on this list so far have been resin (SLA) machines, as this technology typically yields more detailed models than FDM printers. However, the Creality Ender 3S1 is one of those rare FDM printers that can handle a decent level of detail, suitable for printing miniatures. You've probably heard of the Creality Ender 3 before, and the S1 is the latest version of the popular open source machine. Since I got one of these bad boys in April, the Ender 3S1 has been my favorite FDM machine to work with, largely because it's so reliable. I've yet to have a failed print on this machine. The S1 has a direct drive extruder that's able to print flexible materials, like TPU, with a high level of print quality and minimal stringing. However, the reason I love the direct drive approach of the S1 is because it's a lot more accurate than the Bowden drive extruder configurations on other FDM printers. Additionally, the smooth PEI sheet used for the build plate on the S1 means that all prints have a glossy and glass-like smooth bottom surface. And if you use a small nozzle diameter, like a 0.1 mm diameter one, you can get some really detailed prints that look terrific. If I'm being honest, I don't really use my S1 a whole lot for miniatures because resin printers just do it better. However, the S1's build volume of 220 by 220 by 250 makes it perfect for printing terrain models and boards to put your miniatures on. At the end of the day, the Ender 3S1 is the only FDM printer I trust to print a miniature model. But I think it's best suited for printing models that accompany miniatures, such as terrains, landscapes, or play boards. Additionally, the S1 is a great choice if you want to print some miniatures as well as regular parts that don't need to be super detailed.